Straight ahead on 12 News, a Brooklyn Park woman who's raising the bar on what we can do as we age.
I want to make a record when I'm 90 if I'm around that long.
Then a race against the clock to save an infant boy from Liberia, how a Brooklyn Park family has stepped in to try and help. Plus, a home in New Hope that's part of an investigation into dogfighting. 12 News starts right now. But we begin with an intense scene this morning in St. Louis Park. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. This morning, rescue crews scrambled to save 5 children from a vehicle submerged in a holding pond. It turns out the woman who was driving and all of the children were from Brooklyn Center. Authorities say 23-year-old Marion Garrido crashed into the pond near Highway 7 and Highway 100. Garrido was able to escape, but all 5 children were trapped. 3 of the children were hers. They range in age from 1 to 6 years old. Authorities say the children were all unresponsive when they were pulled from the water, which was close to 9 feet deep and described as incredibly cold. It's unclear what caused the crash. As we went to air, the State Patrol says the 5 children are hospitalized with serious injuries.
Authorities from multiple agencies are investigating a suspected dog fighting ring. They found pit bulls, drugs, and guns at several locations in Minneapolis and at a home in New Hope. 12 News reporter Sonia Goins has more.
Well, it's a quiet neighborhood, really. Not a lot of noise most of the time.
Steve Van Tassel has lived in this New Hope neighborhood for 42 years.
I knew it was New Hope. It didn't say where. I guess it was a surprise to me.
He says he never knew there were pit bulls being trained to fight at the corner house on Angeline Drive.
I guess I don't understand it. Of course, I think that dog fighting is shouldn't be, period.
Dogfighting is very underground. The participants are willing, and the only victims don't have a voice.
Wednesday morning, New Hope police searched the home.
There were 3 pit bull type dogs at the New Hope location.
Those pit bulls were among 15 rescued from 8 different locations.
He did rent some houses just to house dogs.
Including the one in New Hope.
That one I'm not sure if he rented, but the dogs were located there.
Police also recovered a lot more, including a dog fighting training manual.
Located were 2 firearms, numerous dogs. There were 15 dogs. There were firearms and narcotics located at 2 of them.
Officials would not say whether drugs or weapons were found at the home on Angeline Drive, but they do know the dogs were involved with fighting.
Investigators say the dogs were not kept in the best of condition. They were chained up in their kennels with very little water or food.
How do you be cruel to an animal like that? It just irks me.
He's got scars down here. He's got scars all over his face.
You can see battle scars on the dogs.
The ear is completely torn compared to this side.
This pit bull has eye and ear damage.
You've got all the different marks where the hair hasn't grown back.
Considering what the dogs have been through, authorities say they are friendly and should be okay. But that's little comfort for the people who live in this New Hope neighborhood.
I don't understand how anybody can do that.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
One man was taken into custody in connection with the dogfighting investigation. He is facing felony dogfighting charges. A 9-month-old boy is suffering from a potentially deadly condition that could be treated with surgery.
And the problem is he's in Liberia without access to proper medical care. As Renee Bonneau reports, his uncle is in Brooklyn Park trying to bring the boy here for life-saving treatment.
And so this injury has been something that has been very devastating for this child.
From the day he was born, little Zachary Jenica has been struggling with a condition called hydrocephalus, the buildup of fluid in the brain.
The vital signs.
His uncle Isaac Mitchell doesn't know if Zachary was born with the condition or if it was caused by a fall the boy suffered when his mom was in labor in Liberia. What Isaac does know is Zachary needs surgery now to correct this problem.
But with the kind of expertise and the kind of medical facility that we have in Liberia, it's not as adequate as possible to be able to provide a complete remedy.
I know that here in the United States we have the medical equipment and tools and everything we need, doctors and specialists that can help this child.
Through her connections with a local nonprofit, Georgette Gray is helping Isaac find a way to get Zachary the surgery he needs here in Minnesota.
A few years ago, about 5 years ago, we were instrumental in bringing a child from Liberia for a life-saving surgery.
This time she's connected with a neurosurgeon at Fairview Hospital who said he's willing to help but needs the hospital's approval to go forward with treatment.
The doctor can say, yes, I want to help, but the burden remains on the hospital because there's a lot of other surgeons and nurses and other specialists that will be involved in the process.
Doctors have told Georgette here in the U.S., hydrocephalus is usually fixed at birth. Sadly, the only thing doctors can do in Liberia is drain the fluid from Zachary's brain when it builds up. That's usually every 2 to 3 days. Mike.
All right, thank you. Minnesota's job picture is looking a little brighter today. A new report shows the state's unemployment rate has fallen to the lowest level in nearly 6 years. The October unemployment rate was 4.8%. That's the lowest since December of 2007, when economists say the recession started. The job sectors with the most gains, education and health services.
What does Thanksgiving mean to you? For folks at the Crystal VFW, it's an opportunity to thank veterans. That appreciation came in the form of a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Veterans who served in World War II were among those who made the trip from the Minneapolis Veterans Home. Organizers at the Crystal VFW say it's something veterans look forward to every year.
And some of them won't be going out for Thanksgiving next week, and this is their Thanksgiving dinner instead of staying at the Vets Home.
Opportunities like this are becoming fewer and fewer. Veterans Administration figures show World War II vets are dying at a rate of just over 600 a day.
Now that a popular transportation service for seniors has stopped running, it's becoming harder for many to do daily chores. The PRISM Express bus service ended last week. It contracted with 5 cities' senior transportation to help dozens of seniors get around. Jeanette Manthe was a frequent rider who will now depend on relatives to run errands.
Well, I just thought, well, I'll just have to ask my kids, I guess. I mean, what can you do? I mean, there's not much you can really do. You can't call a cab for every little errand you want to run or anything either.
The 5 Cities program is trying to find another bus service for riders. A longtime New Hope establishment now hopes to become a longtime fixture in Plymouth. The Sunshine Factory opened today in its new location at Rockford Road Plaza. That's 3.5 miles from where it used to be on 42nd Avenue. The move came about when the restaurant owner and his previous landlord couldn't agree on a new lease. Still ahead, a standout student with a trio of winning qualities in Brooklyn Center.
And then a little later in sports, Wayzata takes aim at a championship in the state girls swimming and diving meet.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast. There was an early morning party at Target stores all across the metro, including this one in Plymouth today. Long lines formed as customers waited to buy the 25th Cities 97 sampler. In Plymouth, there's even an informal breakfast club at the front of the line.
We were just sitting around one day freezing our butts off and thought, hey, it would be good to have some hot food. So the next year we brought some eggs and a little Coleman stove. Now we've graduated to this big cooker.
The earliest risers waited about 4 hours before the doors finally opened. Sales of the CD raised more than $1 million for Minnesota charities. Well, this week's standout student is strong, smart, and sincere.
It's a winning combination for Brooklyn Center senior Nastya Popova.
Hustle up on the next buzzer. You're going. You're on.
Whether it's in Phi Ed class or on the volleyball court.
Shot and a kill. Nicely played by Brooklyn Center. The kill for Popova.
Brooklyn Center senior Nastya Popova has undeniable strength.
She this year was our honorable mention for all conference. She was our offensive player of the year. There's a reason why she, received those accolades, because she just was that leader for us.
Team captain on the court, a straight-A student, and homecoming queen at school, this 17-year-old shines, yet she shies away from the spotlight.
I am a shy person, but I pretend to be not so shy. But technically, I'm deep down, I'm very shy.
A volleyball and softball player, athletics helped bring Nastya out of her shell.
She's always been a good student, always disciplined, but we didn't really see the interpersonal skills early on. And through athletics, as she started to build confidence, as she started to develop those skills, she just flourished. And now we just see that in everything that she does.
Confidence comes in knowing who you are. Nastya Popova has learned a thing or two through sports.
You just have to kind of like be in control of yourself, be in control of your actions, because then once you're in control of yourself, you have control of the game.
This year, the Brooklyn Center volleyball team had its winningest season in more than a decade. It's a sign of the strength among Nastya and her teammates.
I'd love for her to continue playing volleyball because I think she has the skill to do it.
Nastya plans to major in business. She says she would like to keep playing volleyball, whether it's on a college or a club team. Coming up, one truly powerful story.
You meet a Brooklyn Park woman who's inspiring others to do things they never thought was possible. But first, a familiar face becomes the new head basketball coach at Wayzata. John Jacobson has the details when we come back.
Wayzata's girls swim team won the state True Team meet in October. The winning True Team doesn't always translate to the same level of success in the regular state meet. Trojans, though, had a lot of girls in the Class AA finals Wednesday night. It's Armstrong's Courtney Evanson in the 200-yard freestyle race here, though, with a strong placing. The junior finished second in the 200. She later finished second in the 500 freestyle. A great swim by Wayzata's Madison Price in the 200-yard individual medley. Price takes first place with a winning time of 2 minutes, 1.91 seconds. She finished second in the 100 breaststroke and was on 2 relays as well. While Price had the only first place finish of the night for Wayzata, the Trojans had a lot of second and third places. Colleen Donlin is second in the 50 free here. Wayzata finishes tonight with a runner-up finish in the 400 free relay. That helps the Trojans win the Class AA team title.
We told them that before the meet, we said, it's anyone's game this year. Everyone has looked really good all season, and so let's just go for it. And you got to start on Monday, and you got to keep going on Tuesday, and if we can make enough back on Wednesday, we may have this.
Wayzata wins its first ever state championship in girls swimming and diving. Minnetonka finishes second with Edina third. Armstrong also cracked the top 10 with a 9th place finish. There will be a lot of new faces on the court and on the bench for the Wayzata boys basketball team this winter. The Trojans have a new head coach, but he's not exactly new to the program. Nick Tibasar is the Trojans' new head coach. He was Andover's coach the past 2 seasons, but before that was a Wayzata assistant and also played for the Trojans. He's excited to be back coaching at his alma mater.
You know, it was exciting back in June when it was really new, but this is really the part that I look forward to the entire time, is getting a chance to work with our guys and start teaching the game. It was tough in the summer to take over and want to be really hands-on with making some changes and fixing some stuff and not being able to, but just really excited to have things going. You know, I really like the team a lot. We've made a ton of progress in just a short amount of time. And
the Trojans don't have any starters back from last season's streaky 12-14 squad, but they do have some talented classes coming up. It's a team without a lot of proven varsity players. That won't stop them from becoming a solid team.
We've been playing with each other over the offseason, kind of knowing what strengths everyone brings, so I think we can really mesh that together to have a good team this year.
We're young, but we have a lot to offer, and as long as we keep going in practice, I hope for the best, and I think we have a shot at doing something special this year.
Former Cooper head coach Dave Johnson is an assistant for Wayzata this year. The Trojans host Eastview in the season opener next Tuesday. Many inner-ring suburban schools in the Twin Cities have seen hockey fade away, or at least forced to co-op with other schools. The numbers game has been an issue for the Cooper boys, but they are still holding on. The Hawks did enter a co-op with Fridley High School, but it meant the addition of just 1 player for the season. Just over 30 players are out for hockey at Cooper, giving them a decent base for the season, but the issue was always there.
It's been like that for, I don't know, quite a while now, last about 10 years. And it is, it's part of the job I really don't like, but it's a necessity. We got to figure out where we're at and where we're going, and it's something I wish I didn't have to deal with, but it is, kind of is what it is.
The Hawks do have quite a bit of varsity experience returning as they hope to improve on last winter's 4-win season. They expect to be better this year.
Yeah, we do have a lot more people playing varsity this year. It should be a lot better for the games this year. More experience should help us a lot, get a lot more wins this year.
So far right now, we're just looking
for shooting the puck hard this year, getting pucks to the net, breaking it out a little bit better than last year.
The Hawks open the season with 4 straight home games at New Hope Arena, opening with St. Michael Albertville Tuesday. And that's a look at sports.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back.
Well, if you need inspiration to head to the gym, look no further than our next story.
Meet a Brooklyn Park record-holding weightlifter who doesn't let age, disease, or anything else stand in her way. Here's reporter Shannon Slatton with Marlene's story.
Perfect. Perfect.
When Marlene Wexler hits the gym,
All the way. There you go.
she gives it all she's got.
Good job.
At 68 years old,
4. This is me lifting.
Marlene holds 14 state records in weightlifting.
This was just 248, so I can do 275 now.
3.
And I want to make a record when I'm 90, if I'm around that long.
Squeeze it up. Squeeze it up.
Plus, she's finished first in her division in 5 world championships.
The deadlift is marvelous in that it uses just about every muscle in your body.
But Marlene hasn't always been a weightlifter.
The first week, I couldn't press a 5-pound dumbbell.
4 years ago, Marlene had to have knee replacement surgery and rehab in the nursing home. She weighed 226 pounds.
I decided I'm going to do everything I can to stay out of a nursing home for as long as I can. That meant getting in shape.
There was a goal. She knew what she wanted to accomplish, but like many, she didn't know how to get there.
I remember the day I lifted my body weight. I had come down from 226 to 185, and I lifted my body weight. Yes! What a high that was.
But there was a low yet to come.
There you go. 8.
In May of this year, Marlene found out she had cancer.
I was diagnosed in May, had surgery in June. 3 weeks later, I did the local competition with the surgeon's approval and got 2 state records.
And through radiation,
Ready?
she never stopped training.
When I ran out of energy, that would be the end for the day.
At her last competition in Reno,
Couldn't believe it. So that was just a tremendous honor.
she received an award for her courage.
All the awards that I've gotten pale in comparison to that. That was just a tremendous honor.
All the way.
For as much as she lifts up those around her most of all.
Just remember those 3 choices you have. You can give up, you can give in, or you can give it all you've got.
Good job. Proud of you.
Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
We're both sweaty now.
I love it. Marlene's next competition will be in Wisconsin in April. She's moved up and now competes in the 68 to 74-year-old division. What an inspiration.
Incredible.
Yes. Don't mess with Marlene.
No, way to go, Marlene. Go get it.
That's it for us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.